All right, so I wanted to do this video because one of the things that is really cool about building a company is you learn so much. Okay, like when I say so much, so much. So I'm sitting here and just got done with inventory receipt because as we work on our HACCP plan and just all the things for manufacturing a product, right? You have to literally trace ingredients. You have to learn your stuff down to a T. And so, one of the things that we have to do is for each of our products, right? Like, so you have this one bottle of product. Well, this one bottle comes from a larger batch of products, right? And so, one of the things that I have to do is for each bottle of product, I need to figure out how much of each ingredient is in there, right? So how much garlic is in this one bottle, how much oregano, how much thyme, whatever the various ingredients are in the different bottles, how much of that is in each of these bottles. And a part of that is like, if there ever was a recall for any reason, like you have to determine how much of something is an issue, right? Now, for me, y'all recall something, we recalling it. I don't care what y'all talking about. I don't care if it's only 5 grams in there. Y'all gonna know about it because I just, no, there's a recall and that ingredient is in that product. I don't care if it's 5 grams or 2 grams. I want you to know what's going on. But anyways, that's the reasoning behind it is that if ever something were to happen, they have to determine how much needs to be consumed for it to be an issue. Anyways, the issues. But as I'm doing that, first off, I'm grateful because I promise you, like, if somebody would have told me 2 years ago to do that, I'd have panicked. Like, I literally would have freaked out because that would have meant going back, trying to write all my recipes down, blah, 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 like going through this whole thing. But now, because there's a good foundation in place, and that's one thing, if you are a business owner or anything you're doing, there needs to be a good foundation because if there's no solid foundation for you to stand on, when new systems have to be implemented, you literally have to start from scratch. You don't have a baseline to start from. And so gratefully, we have a baseline. And because I do, it was easy for me to figure out how much of each ingredient was in each of our bottles. Like, it's literally a simple formula. So thankfully, I have my stuff down in such a way where that is the case. So anyways, as I was doing that, I was sitting in there and I was thinking, oh, we talk about our products being low in salt and what that actually means. Now, I can't compare to other companies. I know, like, per serving size, I can compare what the sodium levels are per your daily value, all of the nutrition label stuff, right? But what I can do is look at my own products because I know my recipes, right? I don't know their recipes. So I don't know how much of their bottle is salt versus not salt. So I can't compare in that regard. However, what I can do is how much salt is in each of our products. And so as I was sitting down and I was thinking about that, I was like, oh, this is a perfect time to talk about what low salt really looks like. So, I want to start. So each of our products, we have a range of the salt, and I'm looking at my notes, so bear with me. So our product with the most salt in it. Okay. So that would be our Cajun seasoning. This bottle of seasoning. So this bottle has 115 grams in it. Okay. And it's really actually a little bit more. Don't tell nobody. Okay. Just a little bit more. Because I weigh more than that. I definitely put a little more in there. There's always a range of, like, when I'm filling the bottle, like, it's never less than a certain amount and it doesn't go over a certain amount. But I can tell you that it's definitely a little more than 115 grams in there. It might not be a lot more, okay? Might be just be a gram or 2 more, but a little bit more. Anyways, the point is, out of the grams that are in this bottle, so this whole bottle of seasoning, only 16 grams of this, so this whole thing, 16 grams of it is salt. The rest of it is everything else. So out of this whole bottle, only 16 grams. And I wanted to, like, I started recording this earlier and then I wanted to come back because I was like, what does that look like visually? Okay. So I went and I weighed it out. And yes, my salt is gray, y'all. This is my home salt. Not I use a kosher salt in our products. This is my I use a Celtic, I don't know, however you pronounce it, sea salt at home. And so it is not refined and put through as much of a process. This one is kosher salt. So this sea salt isn't, they don't do stuff to make it whiter, basically. So that's why it looks a little gray. But anyways, it's good salt. Just saying. Anyways, this right here, let's see if I can get a good visual. Anyways, this is what 16 grams of salt looks like. Okay. If you could picture that in a bottle, oh, that would have been smart. I could have just put it in the bottle. Duh. Anyways, didn't think about that. But you think about this much salt. This is probably as much salt as I would use if I'm cooking at home and I was making, you know, this probably would get me through 3 meals. Like 3 dishes, like if I was doing a stew or a chili or something that required a little more salt. Like this is maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 for me in my house. Okay. This, you know, just depending on what I'm cooking. Like if I'm cooking a large vat of something, you use a little more salt. And so this literally is probably enough salt for me to go through a few meals. That's how much I would use. To think about the fact that that's all the salt that's in this whole bottle, for me, that's like crazy visually, because I've never thought about it like that. Because I mean, and not that I'm a heavy salter, but certain stuff just requires a lot more salt. So when I'm sitting and I'm sprinkling salt, you know, I'm gonna grab a nice good pinch of that and put it on there. Well, if you're a pincher, I mean, like, if you are a pincher, I mean, like that's a pinch, right? Like this is, like I say, maybe 3 to 5 meals of salt. If that, if that, depending on, again, who's the pincher. Because some pinchers are heavy, some pinchers are lighter. But if I get a good pinch of that, I only got about 5 pinches in there. Okay. So to think that that is the same amount of salt in this entire bottle of product, to me is just crazy, because I know when I'm using this, I'm using it for the flavor. The beautiful thing about salt is an enhancer. It's a preserver. It's not meant to be a lot of companies use it as a filler because it's one of the cheaper ingredients, just depending on what type of salt you're using. It's one of the cheapest ingredients. So if I can give you a whole bunch of salt, then I can give you less garlic powder, yes, less onion powder, less of those things, because that salt, when it hits that taste bud, is going to have a different impact than that garlic and all of those other things. So if I put a lot of this in here, then I don't have to use as much of the other ingredients. And so then, you know, profit margin, whoop, you know, for companies who do that. I'm just giving y'all the game, okay? I'm not trying to play with y'all. I'm just letting y'all know what's going on when you buying this stuff, okay? So when you sit and you get our product, so again, you got 115 grams in this bottle. 16 grams of that is salt. So that means 100 grams is everything else, okay? Your garlic powder, your onion powder, your onion powder, all of that other stuff, right? So that means you get all of the flavor and then just enough salt to bring those flavors together, to enhance them and make them bring up the quality of the dish, okay? Like that, you get the flavor. You're not getting a bottle of salt. You're getting seasoned salt at that. Like, cause that's what most of it is. It's literally salt with some seasoning. You're not getting seasoned salt. Like a lot of people will ask us, oh, is this like a seasoning salt? Not at all. Because even like our original, which is the one that people ask the most, is it like a seasoning salt? It has 12 grams of salt. So even less than this is only 12 grams of salt. You are not getting a seasoning salt here. This is not seasoning salt. This is seasoning. It is seasoning, which means it has enough salt in it to make those flavors pop on your food. And you can add as much salt as you want. Because one thing I tell our customers all the time, you can add salt. You cannot take it away. Yeah, okay. It just don't. You got to pre-mix. And I know a lot of people, like, that's why they don't buy pre-mixed blends, right? Because if I go to do this on my food and too much pops out, or let's say like chili or something like that, you making a big pot of something, you accidentally open the wrong side, you do, and too much, you literally ruined your whole dish because now it's salty. You can't take that salt out. You put too much of this in there, it's just a little more seasoned. It's not going to be salty. Like, that's the beautiful thing about our products. So that is the most. So let's talk about the least. Okay. So the least one would be our seafood seasoning. Our seafood seasoning has 7 grams. So visual representation again. Okay. It's a lot less. So let's see, I'm trying to, I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. Okay, I dropped some. I'm going to try to clean that up a little bit. Okay. So, let's see. This might be easier to do this like this, because I'm trying to show y'all in a glass bowl, and I'm got my phone propped up. So, there you go. That is 7 grams of salt. Okay. That is how much, 7 grams in this whole bottle of seasoning. I know at least half of y'all would use this much salt in a whole seafood boil, if not more. Let's be clear, okay? This ain't nothing. This is nothing. This is, for my pinchers, that's a pinch. 1. That's a pinch. 2. That's a pinch. 3. Pinch. 4 pinches. 4 of them. Okay? 4 pinches. So if you a pincher and you doing 4, that's 4 steaks. Maybe a thing of chicken. Yeah. But is how much salt is in this entire bottle of seasoning. So again, when you consider that, if you're making your seafood boils, if you're doing I use this to make our chicken noodle soup. We also use it in our cabbage, combined with our garlic and herb. We use it, you could put it on chicken, you could use it on your seafood, your fish, your salmon, all of that. You literally, this is how much salt is in this whole bottle. So when you put this on, you put a liberal amount, you know, when you see it, you're not putting that much salt on your food. You're getting flavor. You're getting the garlic powder, the onion powder, the cardamom, the turmeric, the mustard seed, the oregano, the thyme, the mustard, the crushed red pepper, the celery seed. You're getting all of the flavor, all of it, because the stuff, especially the seafood one. I mean, it got all the stuff. My husband mowing the lawn, y'all. Say stuff. He passing back, so it might get a little loud. But you're getting all of that, and we don't hide ingredients. The reason we do not hide ingredients, because one thing I cannot stand is when I go, and I'm like, okay, what's in here? And it says spices. Well, which ones? Which ones you use? Maybe I'm allergic to one of those spices. I'm not. There are people who are. They're sensitive to certain spices. They don't like certain flavors. So they're less willing to try stuff because there's the potential that thing is in there when it just says spices. And with the FDA regulations, companies are not required to list all of the spices out. They can literally just put spices. We could do that. I don't, because I want you to know what's in your food. I want you to know what you are eating, what you are consuming. So when you think about, like, you're getting all that flavor and you're getting just enough salt to bring it together. And so when you're looking at our list and you're seeing our ingredients and things like that, even in our garlic, in our garlic and herb seasoning, there's only 12 grams of salt in this bottle. The reason salt is the second ingredient on the list is because it's heavy. If you take salt in one hand and you put herbs in another hand, the herbs are gonna be nothing compared to the salt. And so there's significantly more herbs in this bottle than there is salt. But because salt is heavier, it ends up second on the list because it's by weight in which ingredients lists are written. So when you see that, you have to consider sometimes salt may be the second ingredient, but that doesn't mean it's more of it in here than anything. It's just a heavier ingredient than the oregano, the parsley, and the thyme are. Because truth be told, there's way more oregano, parsley, and thyme in here. And so like I'm sitting here and I don't know, I thought that was pretty cool. So I wanted to come and I wanted to talk to y'all and share that with y'all, because it was just like, you know, I know that we say that our products are low in salt. We say that all the time. But when I sat and think about like the concept of like, this is all of the salt. These are all of the salt that is in the entire bottle. And like I say, I showed you the most one and I showed you the least one. And so all of the rest of them fall between this range. And so when you consider that this much salt, and I know it's kind of sticking to the side, the one thing about this sea salt is it has more moisture in it than some other ones. And like I say, this is my home salt. So yeah, I'm touching it and messing with it because it's my home one. All right. I'm in my office right now. But I wanted to, like I say, do that representation because I wanted to show y'all what that looks like. Like I don't think we often think about our food. We're not, because we don't make as much of our food as maybe generations before us did. A lot of our stuff comes packaged and ready to consume for us, and so we are not as connected with our food and understanding what these labels really mean, what the ingredients really mean. And so as a company, I think it is so important that I get the job to steward this company well, that I get the opportunity to not only like make these products, but share them with you and show you like, what does that mean when you actually see like low in salt? And when you consider it, like if you are a cook, and y'all know the ones of y'all that cook, to think that like you use that much salt in a couple dishes, and the fact that it's a whole bottle, some people, it may take them a year to go through this bottle. I don't know how, because the garlic and herb in my house, them we do the big boys, because this over with. That garlic and herb, I mean, depending, yeah, we go through it. That one we go through the most. But it may take some of y'all a year to go through this. So to think that there is, like, when you can think about it, there's probably the amount of salt that a person would use on maybe 4 or 5 meals in a year's worth of product for some of y'all. Again, not for everybody. It's hard when you're doing numbers like that, okay? Anyways, I just want to show y'all. I really thought that was cool. I really thought it was interesting that, like, that's how much salt is in a product. That's it. That's nothing. When you really sit down and think about it. And we get to do this. We get to give you a product that doesn't have a bunch of junk, that ain't no fillers. I ain't using no wood chip sawdust. No. Oh my gosh. I laugh at that because, like, when you think about a lot of these herbs and stuff, they're plants, okay? They come from bushes and things like that. So every now and again, when we are processing, when we're processing and making our product, you'll find like a twig or something, like from the bushes of the thyme or different things like that. So every now and again, you'll find a little twig. But to like intentionally, like, I didn't grab the herbs. I'm literally taking the wood and grinding it up and using the sawdust on the product. That sound crazy. That really do. No, we're not doing that. We're not putting no sawdust in your food and naming it something else, because obviously on the ingredient list it do not say sawdust. Okay, so as a consumer, you wouldn't even know it's sawdust because it says something else. You know what? Now I'm interested. I gotta go see what it says, because I forget what it says on your ingredients label. What is sawdust listed as on a food label? Cellulose. So they're not going to put, if they put sawdust, if it says sawdust, you wouldn't buy it. You would not buy it if it said sawdust on there. But they don't put that. They put cellulose. And so most people don't know what cellulose is, and they won't think about it or look at it. But that's what they use as an anti-caking agent. That's what they use as a filler to like make the product more. And so they do that so that, again, anti-cake and stuff don't stick, things like that. But to think about, like, if we don't read or look at stuff, that's why we don't hide ingredients. That's literally why we name everything out. So, you know, like, ain't nothing hidden. Ain't no hidden agenda. Ain't no byproducts. We're not using any wheat or wheat byproducts in your food. There ain't no fillers. We're not selling you fillers. We're not selling you salt with a little seasoning in it. We are giving you seasonings with enough salt to enhance the flavor. That's what we do here at the J Effect. We don't mess around. We want y'all to have good food. We want y'all to feed y'all families well, because when you shop with us, you become a part of the Flavor family. And it is important to me that all of the family feels loved, feels taken care of, and knows that they are valued. And that's what we do here. We give you something because we value you, what you putting in your body. Not a part of taking care of you is caring about what goes in your body. If I'm adding ingredients or I'm just giving you a bunch of salt, I'm not taking care of you. I feel like that's irresponsible of me. And I want to be a good steward over the family that God has blessed me with. And so a part of that is you ain't never going to see nothing hidden up in here. You're going to see every ingredient listed, because then you know it's real food. Just saying. It's crazy out here in these seasoning streets. Y'all stay blessed. I hope y'all have a good day. I'm gonna end this video because I did not expect it to go to the 20-minute mark. Was not planning that way, but I'm having fun explaining this to y'all, and I hope that you all are enjoying the content as well. I hope that you it's something that you can appreciate, and I hope that as we grow, we'll continue to put more things out there, showing you behind the scenes, letting you know like what it is we're doing, why we're doing it, why it matters, in hopes that you all know that we care about y'all. All right, and we want nothing but the best for you. So I hope y'all have a blessed day. I will see y'all in the next video. Bye. Or at the next market, because it's starting. Market season is among us. Let's get outside, folks. See y'all soon. Bye.